So, after much fanfare, I finally made it back from Arlington, and I'm ready to share it with you guys. Today, on the Summoning Circle podcast, I have with me Blake the Strafe, who somehow ends up on every single one of these. You probably know him better than me. Next to him, I've got CriticalML,
Yo.
who it turns out is really good at Halo 3 and still looking for team. So, definitely hit him up if you guys know anyone for, what is it, DreamHack Dallas that's next?
Yes, sir.
Under him, Goatman Jaro, the man who needs no introduction. He's the one who keeps beating you on MCC matchmaking. And we have his
That's
protege, Repentency, as well.
Yeah,
Future.
I'm not his son. I'm just
Yeah.
make that clear. I'm not his son.
Goat has many sons, but Repentency is not one.
All right,
How'd it go? Yeah.
yeah. So we're here to talk about the event. So Arlington was interesting because it was an event that a bunch of us were thinking about going to attend, and it ended up that a little bit before the event, they didn't have Halo 2. Their only classic Halo offering was Halo 3, so it wasn't worth it for necessarily us to send like a whole team. So I already had my flights and stuff booked. Booking flights is a little bit different from Canada. I don't really know what I can admit to, but
Can we speak on that a little bit?
yeah, go for it.
Because, dude, it was a whole shit show on our end too. Like me and Rep and others that we had that were involved. We all went out and bought all these plane tickets and all this shit like way in advance. I know we all did it, and like the refund process was a pain in the ass.
Hey, can I stream
But,
this on Twitch? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to, sure, go for it.
I'm trying to set it up right now.
But I guess
Sorry
what
to
I'm
cut you
trying
off.
to say is,
Yeah, it's
in the
like-
near future, are we all like on decision that we're gonna wait till they actually announce events?
I'll
from
put it to you
point
this
forward?
way. It would make more sense. It's probably
Yeah,
gonna be more
it's just the plane
expensive,
ticket-
but still.
the hotel cost and the plane ticket cost is gonna be way higher. But it's kind of like I don't know, like
I feel like a core of us should just be going to these regardless.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured I just
I
wanted
mean,
to
and
go
that
to
was
a
kind
bunch
of-
anyway. So
I mean, and that's how I guess reaching you ended up in the situation you're in, literally showing up by yourself. You should have came with all. We all should have been there, but like you said, no event. There's no point.
yeah.
For me, I don't mind playing Halo 3, but my main's Halo 2, so like Halo 3 is a secondary thing to me. It's just not as worth it to me, just going down for Halo 3.
Reference, I will throw down on any fucking Halo.
Okay.
Yeah, but throw down on any Halo with a proper team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I mean, unless you're me, of course, and then I just show up by myself and win the whole thing.
Yeah, but no, it's different. You kind of can't refund co-chair flights that are really like from Canada to the States in most situations. And the other thing too is that I wanted to do other things in Arlington that people will see.
Yeah.
There's like a game store I wanted to go to. I was like trying to make a whole trip out of it. I was like, oh, finally an excuse to go to like the Fort Worth area of Texas. So I figured I would just show up anyway, and in like a worst case scenario, I could just record the event. I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more as this goes on, but like I was super invested from like the last couple majors and the World Championship into like Roster Mania this year with the kind of storyline of Halo Infinite. That's heating up a lot. Normally, that game doesn't exactly excite me like how Halo 2 or Halo 3 did, but despite my issues with the game that are well documented, we're kind of in a situation almost like the beginning of Halo Infinite, where there's all sorts of interesting stuff happening outside of the game, and that kind of like spills over into the game, which used to be a topic of conversation that we would go over pretty frequently when we started doing this podcast, right? Like the competitive goings on. So I guess I'll give people a little bit of an explanation on that. The Optic Gaming team, they got all the second places last year in like the last couple majors and in the World Championship, broke up, took pieces from the Space Station Gaming team, and that also spilled over into like changing the SSG team. So now Lucid's on SSG. You've got the Shopify Rebellion team that has pieces from FaZe, who also got moved during the Roster Mania as well. So it was actually I kind of wanted to see what was going to happen in the grand finals of like the first major of this year, right? Especially considering it was like hosted by Optic. It's in Texas, like it's on home soil. Are they going to get second place again, right?
You kind of got to see like, I guess is this considered the beginning of the season?
Yeah, pretty much. So there have been some like preseason
you
events,
see,
but yeah.
So you wanted to see what the roster switch up was going to do, like first-handed, like the first exposure
Yeah.
to
Oh
it.
yeah. No, I'm really excited about it because there's legacy players at this point that are involved in it, right? So you've got like Formal, who's still the captain for Optic. You got Royal 2, who now is on Space Station Gaming and stuff. So these are actually like names that we would recognize from like several Halos ago that are still trying to go against each other. And there's still storylines that are continuing now in some cases for like over a decade, right? Elamite's still coaching, right? Lunchbox is still coaching for Optic. They managed to get him back after the roster mania. So there's a lot of interweaving narratives or whatever that were exciting to me. So I still wanted to go see that and do a few other things in the Fort Worth kind of area. Critical, how did you end up coming to the Arlington Major?
I actually ended up coming to the majors coaching a team.
Okay.
'Cause I actually wanted to get back into the competitive scene or aspect of it. And I'm like, you know what? Let me put my foot in the door and let me like get a coach a team that's going. So I hit up a friend that I've teamed up with in the past. I played with a little bit, and then we kind of like just went on our own. And I ended up just going with them, and it was an adventure, I will say that. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
Great. So who are you coaching? Don't get so into like the matches yet, because I think we'll talk about that more. But who did you end up like working with? Was it like a named team that you can shout out or anything like that?
Halo well, Team Octane.
Okay.
The team consisted of Tribal, Strange Rich, Vafa, and Dilly Donut.
Okay.
They're cool guys. Pretty cool. The vibes are good. I had a blast. I made everyone pretty much laugh. We were all laughing and having a good time.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Sweet. So, so you ended up coaching for them. That was in the like Infinite Open bracket. Was that the idea?
Yeah, an
Okay.
Infinite open bracket. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
made it.
Okay.
We got basically second rounded, but hey, it was against good teams. Like I don't know, like what else I could tell you.
No, that shit's really competitive, and I wanted to make a point of this because I don't think that we've done like a major together. I'm sure people that are in like the Zodiac kind of circle have gone to the majors before, right? Because there's side events there. I'm sure some of them still play Infinite and stuff. But the
Right.
majors are a bit different than the World Championship. Because for people who don't know, maybe you're like a Halo 2, Halo 3 player, something like that. The majors kind of work like how the old MLGs worked. You can actually register a team and just show up for the open bracket. And the people who finish at the top of the open bracket actually make it into the main bracket versus the partnered teams.
Right.
So you have it's not just like it's not just like the World Championship where all the points are already decided and everyone's basically already in the bracket. You can actually show up with, like 4 players and a coach, pay for your team pass, which is the same price as like 4 tickets. So I think that, or it's a little bit more expensive than 4 tickets, but it's not quite the price of 5 tickets. And you can join in the open bracket. You have to play in this like huge LAN play space against a bunch of other people. And if you manage to make it through, you end up in the main bracket. So a couple teams managed to do that. So, and it's like hella competitive too. Like those
Can I
guys
make
get
an
into it.
interjection on that real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So back in like 08, 09, when you would do these upcoming tournaments, especially for Halo 3, you would go in and everybody at the event would be fighting for a top 16 seed because that seed was guaranteed to the next event. So there was like an open bracket where you would get points at top 32, but you would get a guaranteed 15th place seed or better if you placed top 16 at that event. And
Yeah,
you
so
you had a chance of breaking into the top 16 was technically pro, top 8 was paid, bro.
yeah, like when I'm saying like, that is a simile. I'm
Mhm.
not saying it's exactly the same because it's different than it was
Right,
before,
right.
This
I'm
is like
just educating people on
yeah.
the roots.
So this is like a partnership thing. So there's a few teams that have enough money that they're essentially always going to field the competitive team, right? They automatically kind of qualify, but there's like 2 to 4 teams that can actually show up in the open bracket, and if they get through all of their matches, they can actually play against the pros and place in the money and stuff like that. So I think
Also,
I think
and
Mind
Blake,
Freak managed
Yeah.
to get in doing this, or Dead Inside
I was
something
gonna
like that.
say with top 16, back then you also got to. I mean, you realize this, but other people got to realize that there was like 200 plus teams there.
Oh
So
God,
like,
yeah.
so like getting top 16 was like, it meant a lot more than like having 32, 64 teams or whatever. And
People
getting
would be
top
fighting
16.
for that.
Yeah.
Like at fucking
Yeah.
6 p.m. after starting at 9 a.m. People would be fighting for that top 16 position, and like that kind of
Yeah.
endurance, like you
And
can't
that's all.
fucking.
And top 16 was a long road to get a top 16.
And that's just Friday. That's not even
That's-
fucking Saturday. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
They're just. I was watching kids get one and done, one and done, one and done, like back to back to back.
Yeah, actually, I'll
That-
check how many teams we had for the.
I'll tell you what, like those people that do make it like far, that end up playing right from the morning and they go far into the tournament on Friday. Bro, I give them props because I just did an online tournament, what was it? Sunday, and we got third. I got third. We made it to the
Oh,
we made it
congrats.
to winter finals, and we went to losers finals, and we lost in losers finals. Um, but fuck, dude, but by the time we had to play our time, like our like game, we had to wait like an hour before we played our game. So it was like I went ice cold. We were kind of like burnt, you know what I'm saying? Like we were just
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
was burnt, bro. Like I was drinking like 2 cups of coffee to keep that same energy that I had during the morning that I wish I would had during the night because I would have performed a lot better. And I'm gonna be honest, I shit the bed like in grand winners finals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because I was just
these
like
are
I
yeah,
was just burnt, dude. I was burnt.
yeah.
And those
It's
guys
it's
that
like
do
the
make
last
it,
round of boxing, man. You
Yeah.
know.
yeah, bro. And that's my second time hitting like getting third place in that tournament.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I don't know how many teams were playing in the open bracket for Arlington, but that is something to keep a note of. So if you watch this for some reason and you weren't tracking that because you've only seen us talk about like the World Championship, if you think you're really good, can actually like get a team in there, or have like a proper like competitive LAN if you're able to get yourself a team pass and a couple players registered. I think I might be able to get a team number, so it might end up in like the description or something like that. But there were a lot of teams there, and it was super competitive. And you're playing like right across from each other at a table, monitor to monitor, like a meter away, right?
What I love, dude, when I just wish you were like playing on like, well, it was good that I was playing the opposite end of you and you were playing on the other end because it kept like the 2 other guys in the middle like kind of like keep our cool because I was trying to keep the same energy level with you. It was hilarious
We'll,
because there
we'll,
was
yeah, we'll get into that when we
oh
talk
man,
about the
that
Halo
was
3.
funny.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have seen how when I'm coaching,
man.
I'm very like reserved, or when I'm at an event, I'm not like that when I'm playing at all. I don't know. Maybe LD knows because he got to play with me for an event, but I get a little bit overexcited. So yeah, on Friday, so you'd have been playing in the Infinite. There were a couple interesting matches that happened. I think that this is the day that I think this is the day where Optic Gaming actually got knocked out to or knocked down a bracket to Nemesis or something like that. So it was actually a pretty exciting day at the tournament. But anything else happen for you on the Friday? Like, did you play in any like the 2v2s or any of the other side tournaments?
Yeah, I shitted the bed in the FFA tourney because
Oh.
oh man, I was what I understood from the ref was that one player from our group was gonna advance
Okay.
and the other 4 were gonna get like you're done. Yeah, like you're eliminated. But it wasn't like that. It was the top 4 of this group is gonna advance, and one person is gonna be eliminated. And I didn't understand that. I understood that it was gonna be like one person advances, four and us 4 get eliminated. And at the end when at the end when I was like, fuck it, dude. If I'm already getting eliminated, I started tapping on the dude that was right next to me. I'm like, yo, try to kill me, dude. I was just like trying to give him the game, and he ended up getting second place. I'm like, dude, you suck, bro. Like I'm here trying to find you. I'm here trying to find you, like purposely trying to give you a kill, and you couldn't kill me, dude. Like I'm. And he goes, and I promise you, he goes, I'm in tournament mode. I'm like, chill. I'm like, bro, what the fuck, dude? I'm here trying to help you.
Bro thinks he's the main anime character or some shit.
I don't think he heard me though, but like I was trying to explain it to him afterwards. I'm like, brother, I was trying to like help you
Trying to
out
feed
here.
you.
Dude.
Yeah, so on the Friday on my side of things, that was when they had the Halo 3 doubles tournament, and there were a few other things. Like there were some matches that I wanted to see, but like I left my hotel. Hotel was super nice, by the way. Shoutouts to
What hotel you stayed at?
Sonesta Simply Suites or something in Arlington.
Sonesta? How close was it? Was it walking distance?
Yeah, it was like 15 minutes from the stadium. Is that walking distance for most
that's
people?
I guess. I mean, the Howard Johnson was a little bit of a walking distance because there was like a little of I guess you want to say a forest that we had to walk through.
Okay, fair enough.
And can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. We had a forest that we had to walk through to get to the event, so it was a cool little like little shortcut.
Okay.
But where exactly was yours? Because everything was so out in the open, dude.
Yeah, mine was just like, so there's a street in Arlington that's called Ballpark Way that goes towards the AT&T Stadium. And the place where the esports stadium is like the art museum, which is just like across like a man-made lake from the baseball stadium, the AT&T Stadium. So I was just down what's called Ballpark Way, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes walking. And while I was walking there, like you're walking past like roller coasters and shit from like Six Flags, and there's all these like manicured trees and stuff, and everything is like nice and green and things. The actual road network is kind of sketchy, and there's like no sidewalks at points. But yeah, it was crazy. There was like roller coaster tycoon style like scenery all the way for me to get to the arena. And yeah, so on the first day for me, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on. There was just the Halo 3 doubles tournament, which ended up being pretty funny for me because I showed up to the stadium like, I don't know, later. I didn't show up for the first couple pools matches to watch, but I was like, yeah, I'll make sure that I'm there well in time for the doubles. And I'm just standing in line, and this guy sort of like walks up to me, and he's like, yeah, like when's the sign up starting for the Halo 3 doubles? And he sort of seems like nervous or whatever. And I'm just like, I have no teammate, so right now, like, are you looking for a teammate or whatever?
Yeah.
And he goes like, yeah, like I'll play. So I'm like, okay, sweet. And this has an interesting end to the story. Trust me. So it sounds like I'm saying anything flame about this guy, the end of the story is actually crazy. But so we're in line and we're talking, and from what I gather is like this guy has like basically just started playing Halo like a couple months ago. And while we're in line, he reveals to me that he's actually younger than Halo 3. So Halo 3 came out in like 07 or something, and this guy's born in like 08. So he's like 16 or 17. And he hasn't really
But he never okay.
Yeah. And he hasn't really like played that much. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. So we end up signing up because there's like raffle tickets that you had to get.
Oh damn, dude!
Yeah.
Had I known you were around, I would have picked up you up.
Yeah. So I'm just like standing there or whatever, and I'm wearing like the Zodiac uniform with like a camera bag and shit. And I'm with this dude who hasn't really like played that much before. So we managed to sign up. A bunch of actually like really good players weren't able to get in the bracket because they didn't sign up. So there's a secret optimization for you. If you at least played, that counts for something, right? But we as soon as that's over, I'm like, shit, you probably I probably should like show you the maps or something. So we sit down. This guy's tag is Skater again. There's a crazy end of the story. And we actually sit down and I start showing him the maps. And this dude actually has like good aim, like he has actually like good grenades and things, but he's never really played Halo 3 before. Like at least not on like MLG, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm like trying to show him like, okay, this is this is like Guardian, like this is like Construct, this is Narrows, you know. I'm trying to show him like the whole map pool. I'm trying to explain to him things like, you know how at the beginning of Narrows, right? You have to run 2 routes to get the power weapons, right? Someone's going to try to contest for rockets. You're trying to get the sniper rifle, stuff like that. Like very basic stuff like that. He's never really experienced before, at least with like the correct weapon positions. And I'm like, oh shit, this is about to be, this is really going to be an interesting situation. But if we get a really good bracket poll, right? If we get a good bracket poll, we can probably beat somebody, right? Because I'm feeling it. Like I was practicing before the event. We were warming up against a couple people. I think we played against like Professor and Dodus, and we played a few. We played like the neighborhood guys and stuff like that. So we actually played against a few good people. And
those guys are really good people too.
And obviously we're getting like smoked. You know what I mean in the warm ups. But when I'm like looking at my own perspective fighting them, I'm like, I'm actually doing really well right now. I'm actually like playing ridiculously well, all things considered, right? Considering it's like spawn, fight a 1v2. Sometimes I'm actually getting 1. Sometimes I'm getting 2, right? So I'm feeling it. We finally get like kicked off the station so they can get everything ready. We get brought back to a station. They're like, okay, we get called to a station. We're going to play against the guys who are in, I think that they call themselves like twins or something. They were some of the guys who played, I think on like Bush's Best or something like that at Worlds. Like I recognized one of the people from Worlds. And we get sat down. Everything is fucked up. Like the tech situation for the side tournaments compared to Worlds was like terrible. Okay. The admin that I shouted out at Worlds was not there, and I say that everything was like hinged on him. The woman who does like the station announcements was the same one from Worlds in Seattle, but the admin team was not the same. Like the referees for the matches were not the same. So we ended up in a situation where my side, so myself and Skater had like garbled, distorted audio on the Astros, and we could like barely hear each other. And I don't know what the situation was like for the guys that we were playing, but the admins like wouldn't let us like switch boxes or switch out pieces. So the admins wouldn't let us switch out audio equipment or like change Xboxes or something like that. Despite the fact that like when you shot the BR in my ear cup, it would just like reverberate for 10 minutes and it wasn't even loud. And I couldn't like hear my teammate or something like that. So they must have had, I don't know, messed up Xboxes or messed up Astros because it's never happened again.
Oh no.
But so yeah, I can't hear. We pulled people who can actually play, and I shit you not, dude, we must have lost in like a world record time or something. We got fucking just banged out like 2 maps in a row. Quick, okay? It was quick, and it did not feel good. It was not pleasant. We pulled I think our first map was like midship, and we were, or heretic I should say, but midship. And that map was actually like okay, because I'm pretty good on like the symmetrical close range maps. So we actually were like holding steady to 25 in doubles. So we actually, we're actually holding steady until like 15 kills or something, and then the wheels kind of fell off. And then it was Narrows right after. And if you're not experienced on Halo 3 and you're playing against people who know what they're doing, and it's Narrows doubles, MLG rules, like how long is that game really going to go for, right? So after all was said and done, I ended up actually playing pretty well. I think I might have been like -1 for like both maps or something, but those maps were over. They were over quick. Okay, they were not. They were not pleasant. So shout outs to the Twins guys for like totally taking care of business and not letting us get a foothold at all. But that was certainly an interesting situation. And after we get knocked out of that, the weirdest thing is that Skater was there with his cousin or something. His cousin was Stony Hypes, and his cousin was actually like a old school like Halo fan. I don't really know if he ever played at MLG or whatever. The dude straight up has like a Believe the Hype tattoo and stuff.
Yeah.
But he hasn't played Halo for a long time. So I'm talking with Stony Hypes and Stony Hypes' friend who's Raw Hatred 94, who these people all end up showing up in the story later. But they're like, oh yeah, how did teaming with my cousin go? And I'm like, kid has potential, but you know, we gotta practice a little bit more or whatever. Like obviously I could have done things better, but this was an interesting situation. And then they basically tell me like, okay, look, if you're here tomorrow, we might actually have like a team for the 4v4 or something like that. And I'm like, okay, sweet. So I got last place in doubles, and now I'm probably gonna get fucking last place in 4v4 as well. But at least I have a team. At least I'm gonna be playing the event. So with that in mind, I trudged back to my hotel for 20 minutes and started punching the drywall and stuff. I'm sure. No, it was all fine. I had no idea like what I was supposed to be expecting. So yeah, that was pretty much day one for me. I watched a couple of the matches. I watched Nemesis playing Optic. I was watching the Halo 5 tournament where like the cutting edge guys, that's like Takedown and Easy Money and stuff, were playing. They were really exciting to watch. Takedown is a very animated player when he plays. He like jumps all over the place. He's got an LD nose, so shout outs to him. And actually, I should say, before I trudged back to my hotel, an interesting thing happened. So I'm watching over the shoulder for the Halo 5 tournament, and then all the power goes out in the whole building. Like all the lights go off, all the setups turn off, all the screens turn off, and everyone starts like laughing or whatever because this was during like the Optic Nemesis set, and there were side tournaments and stuff still going on. And then we start getting like evacuated from the building. And I'm not joking, like the power transformer at the back of the building like caught fire. So there's like police and firefighters there keeping everybody like across a parking lot from the venue. And that was like pretty funny because I think that LVT like moved their broadcast like outside. So they're walking around with like cameras and microphones and stuff like that, just interviewing random people in the parking lot. And there's just like, pros like mingling with the fans. People are trying to get back to the Sheraton, which is like across the street, and no one even knows if the event is going to continue because there's people in these like yellow vests and stuff telling everyone to stay away from the venue. Did anything weird happen for you during that Critical? Were you there for the power out or the power outage?
Yeah, I actually was. Now that you're talking about that, they were like, I mean, we were kind of ready to leaving because I already kind of knew the ordeal, and I already saw security already coming in, and I was like, oh, they're gonna kick everyone out. But for a split second, I thought they were gonna bring back the power.
Yeah.
And that was not the case. So the security was like, we need everyone to evacuate the building.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, all right, well, I guess today we finished early.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to finish that early.
Well, fortunately, it was like the Friday, right? And it was like the last set of the day, so it didn't.
Yeah, so it wasn't like that bad. I guess you want to say it was towards the end of the day.
Yeah, it could have been way worse if it happened halfway through the day or like beginning of the day or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we would like still be playing the tournament now, right? So
we would have had to been playing the tournament like Sunday at least.
Yeah.
Throughout Sunday, like even.
Yeah, it would have been until
late.
2 a.m. on Monday or something if that happened.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
If it was like beginning of the day.
Yeah.
But so that ended up being like just a bizarre thing that happened. It seems like they actually managed to deal with it pretty well. But it was funny like leaving the building after we all got kicked out. I thought that like the power might have gone out to Arlington or something. And no, you could smell burning, and there was like firefighters clustered around this like power transformer unit that like totally went up. I don't know if they plugged too many computers into one outlet or like what happened. That is like a wear part though, For some reason, every time I go to the U.S., a power transformer fails. Because actually, now that I think about it, I was there a couple years ago now, and I was at a movie theater, and the power transformer also blew up. So maybe I should stop coming to the States. Maybe I'm like cursing you guys' electrical grid.
Huh.
But yeah, so we moved on to the next day. I'm assuming that you didn't have any like funny run-ins in Texas or anything on the Friday night. Critical? Nothing strange?
Hold on 1 second. Fix my audio here. All right, say that one more time.
Anything else happened for you after the power went out and we all got booted out of the stadium?
Uh, we actually, I think we went to go. I think we went to go to like a LAN center.
Okay.
We went to a LAN center. Or I think we were just tired and we just knocked out. I don't know. I was from Friday to Saturday was such a blur, dude, to
Okay.
me. But I do remember Saturday. Saturday was like
Yeah.
was fun.
But yeah, so on a Saturday, everything kind of started super early. They had to move the start time for the games, like a lot of them forward, so that way they could get through like the final set of Friday and then get into the infinite bracket, like so that they could actually get everything done with on the Saturday. And then Saturday was also when the H3 4v4 tournament was. So did you get in on any of the other tournaments on Saturday, Critical, or?
I did the 2v2 H3 with Skudov. Shout out to him. And I was doing the 1v1 showdowns.
Okay. How well
And
did
what
you
else?
place in the 1v1s between like the 2 days?
Well, I really wasn't like grinding it out like that, but
Okay.
I was playing it, and man, there's some good people out there, dude. There's some
Yeah.
good, especially some good gamer girls, dude. I was surprised that there were some good gamer girls that are pretty good at Halo, bro.
Through experience, I'll tell you this: if you ever see like a girl playing Halo at a LAN, you better believe she's got hands on her and she beat up all of her brothers already.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm gonna tell you guys a crazy story. If you guys don't mind, just add.
Yeah,
Go for it. Go for it.
Dude, so before MLG, there was a league called AGP, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was very new, but so was everybody else. This was like the birth of like competitive Halo, competitive almost everything as we know it, right? And I was at an AGP event. I walk in, and everybody's new. You hear like I've heard about the ogres, I heard about Bash, I heard about Gandhi, I heard like these old school names, and I see them there, and I remember there was this little kid, if you guys remember, named Lil Poison. Do you remember Lil Poison?
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember Little Poison.
Lil Poison was like this 4-year-old kid that would like smoke like 18 to 21-year-olds like nobody's
Yeah,
business.
dude, he was sick with it.
Yeah, so he was sitting at a TV. He's 4 years old. He was about to turn 5. And I knew his dad's Sick Vic. And there was like this like 7-year-old girl, right? And she looked like this like 7-year-old little blonde girl, right? Like she just got out of elementary school or something, right? And they're like, yeah, come play us 2v2. And it was me and my twin brother, the other goat, right? And so we sit down, we start playing them 2v2. They beat us, right? Not only do they beat us, but while they beat us, Ogre 1 and Ogre 2 were watching the whole game behind their shoulders. And I remember just like looking up and seeing the look on Ogre 2's face. He's like, dude, you just got beat by like a 4-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl. Like, kind of like, welcome to the big leagues, right? That was my first experience with Ogre 2 ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, just a funny story, like the stories that Lions bring up,
Yeah. But
But I got my revenge later. What were you gonna say?
yeah, so I was gonna say, so you ended up playing a bunch of the 1v1s thing, Critical, because there was like a bunch of people just sort of with the 1v1s. It's similar to how it works at Worlds, where you can basically play as many 1v1s as you want, but I think it's like the total number of wins or something is what gets counted. So like you can't be like eliminated from it, but if you never win a game, you also can't really place in the money or anything.
Right, so you just basically keep grinding. If you just grind. If had I known that, I would have like kept grinding, dude. I would have kept like staying on that shit and then like not like
Yeah.
played in any other like event, dude. But
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let me just go around seeing people if I run into someone I know, and then I was running into people that I knew, and then that was the cool part about it. So it's that's just like only thing you gotta pick your poison in that tourney because there's tourneys within the tourney,
Mm.
right? But they overlap each other.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's like if you're there for FFA, okay, cool, do your FFA. If you're there for the Halo 3 tourney, all right, make sure you're there for the Halo 3 tourney because if you're gonna do the FFA, it's and you're stuck in an FFA and Halo 3 tourney's up, you're gonna miss the sign up and then the sign ups going up like they go pretty quick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and luckily for the double Halo 3 tourney, we were put on the wait list. So and luckily we were the first on the wait list because the sign up was already full. So then that sign up, I guess, uh, spot we had a spot and then they put us in at the last minute. So we were pretty cool with it.
Yeah, yeah, that one ended up being totally full. So there was some 1v1s going on. There was still like the main Infinite show going on, but then you ended up on a team for 4v4s. That's where we ran into each other. So what happened there for Halo 3 4v4?
All right, so this is so wild how we teamed up with together. I don't even know like, cause you were just walking around and I was just like, um, I teamed. All right, so how it started was I was playing doubles with the guy that scud off
Okay.
for the Halo 3 tourney, the 2v2, and in that I was like, you want to play the Halo 4 tourney? I got two other guys that hit me up that were watching me play the 1v1 tourney, and I forgot their gamer tags, but I gotta look it up. But they were cool dudes, man, and so I was like, all right, I got my squad ready to go, and then that was earlier in the day, and then I was talking to Young Mythos, and I'm like, bro, I don't know where these other two guys where everyone went. So if I can't find these guys, you want to run it? And I just find these other two guys because they gave me their number, and I kept staying in contact with them. So the guy that I was running duels with for the Halo 3 tourney kind of went ghost on me. So
you
in
guys,
that
you
moment,
guys pretty much made up the team on the fly.
Pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah,
we were making
yeah.
a team on the fly. Like it was just like last minute, like let's go.
This
Like I
this
just
is
want
this
to
is
play.
before they picked me up though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the journey before we picked up him.
Yeah.
And crap. And so at this moment, we're going to the lineup, and then the Halo 3 Scuduff shows up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Oh, I'm ready to play with you guys." And I'm like, "Damn, bro, I feel bad now because now it's 5 of us. This is not including. There's 5 of us." And then at that moment, I was like, you know what? All right, you guys play, you four play, I'll coach you guys. I'm like, there can't be a rule for me not coaching because I was
Yeah.
already there to coach for the Halo Infinite team. I'm like, you know what? Let's
Can I,
run it like a full squad. Let's have a full squad. Because have a coach and 4 players.
I just want to
So
say that I find it really funny how or even really cool how like two coaches are showing up and are like forming a team together. It's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
ironic.
And we both
Right,
ended
and
up
then
playing.
so then check me out. So check me out. So in that moment, one of them, like she was like, "Man, that's dope that you're doing that. You know what? You take my spot, and I'll let you guys play." And then in that moment, the Halo my duo for the Halo 3 tourney, he like just dips and he just went to go. Did he went to go play for another team or he just didn't end up playing?
I have no idea.
I don't know what he ended up doing. He just dips. So then it's me, Young Mythos, and what's his name, dude?
Was it at that point you, Young Mythos, Stony Hypes, and a Raw Hatred?
Stony. No.
Yeah.
It was Stony Hypes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then So then, in that moment, dude, he steps out. I don't know if it was his brother or his brother-in-law, but he steps away, and he's like, "You guys play. I want you guys to play." And then we're like, I think I forgot who. Someone pointed you out, reaching, saying that you were pretty good, and we were like, "All right, fuck it, let's pick him up. If they say you're good, let's go, let's run it." So, I didn't know how good you were until like we started playing, and like when you were getting into it, I was like, "Yeah, this is good. This is what we need."
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Reaching, you were frying it.
Yeah. So I finally I'm basically just like walking around in front of the 4v4 sign up area, and I'm asking everyone like, "Do you have a fourth? Do you have a fourth? Do you want to coach?" Like, you know,
Yeah,
I've got all the time.
I overheard him say that.
Yeah, I'm like, does any of you want like anything? Because I just want to be like, I just want to be like part of this tournament. Like, this is like the Halo that I know, you know, like fucking Halo 5. I'd be useless at Infinite. You know, I'm just there to watch, right?
Yeah.
And I'm there to
Now,
just like
there's one
film
more
the
thing.
event. What's up, bro?
Sorry, there's one more thing I want to know. I don't think you guys touched up on this, but the team name. How did the team name come up? How did the team name get picked?
Oh, that was
That's
a
pretty
lot.
unique.
We'll talk about that in a sec. We'll talk about that in a sec because that was actually Critical's idea. So yeah, so we're in line. Literally, like the last team in line is you guys, and I knew because I talked to Sony Hypes and Raw Hatred, right? Because they were there with Skater the previous day, right? And Sony comes up to me right as you guys are like about to sign up. I think that you were like the last or second to last
we
team
were,
in line.
dude. We were in the
And-
line. We were in the line,
Yeah,
dude.
and he walks up to me and he goes like, "Hey man, I'm not gonna play. You're gonna play." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Like I can coach for you." Like you guys are like about to
Yeah.
sign up now. Like you clearly are making this like, you know, this is like a match day decision at this point.
Did he
right?
know like you were good?
Probably not. I remember telling him like, "Yeah, I think I'm playing really well right now, but I just got banged out last place with your cousin." So
Oh,
he must
damn.
have seen something. Yeah, but no, he so he's like, no, like get in line like right now, like you're playing, I'm not playing, you're playing, and I go, okay.
Yeah, it was at that
Yeah.
moment we were just like,
Yeah.
fucking pick one of you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
to play, dude.
And I'm like, okay,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we'll play. So we end up in the line, like we're going to sign up or whatever. We all throw our names down, and I'm saying we should make up some kind of like dumb, like sarcastic name or something like that.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
gonna put some shit that like
Yeah. Well, I was saying that if you make like a
Uh,
mixed team, you always should make up something like sarcastic, so that way if you
No.
lose, it's not so bad, and if you win, it's funny, right? Just depending on like
Right.
bracket look.
well, we made a pretty good name. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty funny in the sense of like it's Looney Toony,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess you want to say.
Yeah.
At the end of it, we were like, I got the inspiration from Space Jam. You ever seen the movie
Yeah, I've
Space
seen
Jam?
Space Jam. Yeah.
All right, the little aliens when they become monstars.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's why I picked the team, the name of the team. I was like, you know, that's the name of our team. We came out of the fucking blue and
Yeah.
we're gonna be monsters.
It's
Right.
funny because it's equally corny but also equally sweaty.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
both.
it's true.
Bro, Larry Bird was on that team, dude. That's not a fucking around team.
Well, we yeah, so we end up like
And we did work, bro.
Yeah.
We did work. I guarantee you, dude. Like, go ahead, like,
Yeah.
continue the story if you're gonna
yeah, so we
get to that point.
we end up like sort of just like standing off to the side or whatever. Before the 2v2 on the Friday, there was like space to kind of play or whatever, but there was all kinds of stuff going on the Saturday. So I don't think we could like
Yeah.
find like a setup to like talk or whatever. And we're like talking about like where we like to play on the maps, like writing
Oh,
on
yeah,
like a
so we
notebook
signed
and
up.
just like talking to each other. Yeah.
Yeah. We signed up right when we finished signing up, we were starting to talk about the team strats right there and then, and someone was playing on the main stage right next to us, and the crowd was just going crazy, and we were like, you know what, let's go to the corner where it's like quiet over there, and we started talking about strats and like everything that could possibly happen in every map and every start off and every power weapon timing, to the point where there was one strat that I explained it to the T, and the team that we got to the grand finals, or the what was it, the finals, winter
It would have
finals,
been semis.
or
Yeah, yeah,
semifinals,
yeah.
right?
Third and fourth.
We
Yeah.
got to yeah, we got to the semifinals. They did
Yep.
that same strat on us, hardcore. I explained it to the team before this whole tourney started, and I'm like, you guys, you remember the strat that I was explaining? They're doing it to us right fucking now, dude. And it was fun, dude, to like refill all those like moments from like back in the day, dude.
Dude, nothing hits like LAN, bro. Nothing.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like,
the
kids who
adrenaline.
play online who try to like value. I mean, I get you can value all tournaments whether they're online or not, but unless you've been to like a LAN, nothing hits like a LAN, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the big thing.
There's
for-
something about like.
And it's the
talking shit to
BR,
someone
bro.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
sitting in the same
BR.
room
Oh
as you,
yeah.
I
It's
like
a
also
4
BR.
feet away. It's
Yeah.
intense, bro.
yeah,
Like
nah, I
there was
can't
a
wait to
map.
Yeah, crazy rush.
There, man, we went off. Like
Yeah.
there's a moment where
Well, I was gonna
we
say
were
so.
going
Like,
off.
before we even get into like the matches, we get
Yeah.
called to our station like 30 minutes early, right? So like we all talk, everyone walks away at that point. Like we were supposed to get called to our station at like 5:30 or something, right? For some reason, they instead call us to our station at like 5 o'clock. So I'm just sitting there on my own, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like trying to like set up all the Xboxes, and eventually Mythos shows up, and he starts like setting up as well, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, is this gonna be like a 2v4? Like, what if the other entire team shows up, but there's not an opposing team at that point? And it gets to the point where it's like, it's like 5 minutes before our original call time, but we're already at the station now. And I'm like running around the stadium, like trying to find Critical and Raw Hatred so we don't get disqualified.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh man, let me tell you from my point of view. So man, we were basically I went out to have a nice little smoke with my buddy out, and and on our way back, I see Rich. Reach like look. No, who was it? Was it Young Mythos who looked for us?
No, it was me. I
You
came
sent.
running out into the.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was you. So right in that moment, I swear to God, dude, this was the feeling that I had. Have you guys ever seen Monsters Inc?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Okay. Do you
What does
guys
ass
remember the
mean?
scene? Do you guys remember the scene when the monsters are like walking in slow motion to their workstation?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like the epic music is going on in the background. That's exactly how I was feeling when we were walking, and he calls us, "Yo, we're starting now," and I'm like, "Here we go, baby. We're locked in, baby. Let's go." So we sit it. Like I'm getting ready. I'm locked in, and the whole setting for like controller settings are different on Halo 3 on MCC because those are dead zones now.
Yeah.
'Cause man, back then it was just simple. It was up, down, left, right, and that's it. It wasn't no other.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
there's way more
I'm
options
more of
than
a
that,
fan of I'm more of a fan of the newer customized settings though,
Really?
because I
Yeah.
actually play on a control setting that doesn't exist on OG. It's something I
Okay.
made up during MCC, so I don't physically have like a way.
Double
Like,
claw spider grip. Double
I know,
reverse claw
so-
spider grip.
I used to claw. I mean, don't get me wrong, but
Only go to
Hey,
his
it's
camera and he can
different.
show you the double reverse
Yeah,
claw
no,
spider
no.
grip.
If you guys watch the Worlds stuff, yeah, there's some footage of Goatman
just
messing
a
with
jar
controllers.
right now.
Yeah.
He's like this.
But
Like that.
yeah, like for somebody who, so say like it's Halo 3 on the original 360s, when you sit down to play, it's like, okay, you're gonna put on whatever bumper jumper, and then you're gonna put on 6.6, and that's it, and then you just play, right? Or whatever, like 10 cents, and then you play, right? In MCC, it is different, right? Especially if you haven't played it for a while, because they've updated the controller options a lot. There's way more controller possible bindings. You can put the sensitivity in all different ways. You can change how much acceleration you get. You can change dead zones. So it is a lot to take
Yeah,
in.
dude.
It's a lot. Yeah.
when I sat down, I forgot who I asked. I was like, you know what? I want to play like if it's classic Halo 3 settings, put me what's the FOV for Halo 3? You said it was like 78.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
something
I
like
actually moved since I did that move. I actually moved. Well, I moved my FOV in Halo Infinite to 78 for the Halo Infinite tourney this past weekend. I actually did pretty good. I mean, to get third place again, but
Yeah,
I
well,
changed it up
on
again.
other
I
on
changed
other
up my
games
That's
whole
they
like
can
there's
system.
pros and cons.
on other games
Yeah.
they can like zoom you in
The-
and focus you a little bit more, like because it makes things
The
bigger,
reticle
but
scaling isn't to scale on MCC,
Yeah.
so it's good to play.
Oh,
on
oh
those
yeah,
other
it's
RPGs.
not.
Yeah. That's the
I,
main reason. Yeah.
yeah, you could totally
Yeah.
tell, dude.
Yeah.
But I forgot what was it that you said that it was the bigger the reticule, the more
Yeah.
aim assist that
No.
kicks
So
in.
what happens? What I was trying to explain is like if you have a smaller FOV, like perceptibly where you aim at the person is going to be the same as it is on like the 360. You don't have to be like ultra super precise. If you make your screen like gigantic though, your reticle is going to look like you're going to hit when you
Gross.
don't, right? Because the reticle is too large.
Yeah,
This big, it should be this big.
Yeah. So
Right,
like
right.
your
You
reticle
can
is going to
get
be
false positives on like leading shots, especially.
your reticle is going to be
Gotcha.
on people when it's actually not on them, and you have to be more accurate. So like I used to play Halo 3 on MCC at like 120, and I switched down to 90, and I just am like, okay, I have to be on 90, but I have to be more accurate. Like I have to know
Right.
I'm on like the leading edge of the person and stuff like that. So you have to actually like kind of do the calculation in your head, unless you just put it on, somewhere in like the 70s or 80s, in which case you just put it on the guy and you shoot like just like how you used to. So that's kind of how we did that. But yeah, we for the 4v4, eventually we got set up, and I think that the first match was probably the best one that we played. The first best of 3. Yeah, I think that was a fun match.
Yeah, it
So
was,
it was
dude.
against the Eclipse guys. So Eclipse is another one of these like open bracket infinite orgs. They're, I mean, kind of.
That was an actual squad that we went against?
Kinda. Well, it was like the people from their org who wanted to play like a Halo 3 side.
Yeah.
So
They're actually a decent team.
yeah,
In regards to Infinite, yeah, for sure.
yeah, for Infinite. But they were playing with I think it was like their team manager and like the older members of their squad. So they had like Selly, who's like their manager. I think Simple does something like that for them, and they had like Cobra and Hoonzy. So it wasn't like their actual like Infinite squad. It was sort of like the older people that actually like played Halo 3, as far as I'm tracking from their org. I haven't talked to them super in depth, but yeah, that's who we ended up playing against first round. And like I said, I'm pretty good on the symmetrical small maps on Halo 3. And I was saying like, listen, we just hope that the first map that we get is like midship or onslaught or amplified or something like that. Our first map that we pull, onslaught CTF. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
here we go.
dude.
Here we go.
Shit,
Like,
bro. It's fun, boy.
yeah. And
I was a bit nervous, I wasn't gonna lie, because I was like, man, I haven't touched Halo 3 since I stopped Halo 3, dude. I haven't even played it in MCC
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So imagine that's like back in 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, and it was so crazy for me to detail you the strats
Yeah.
for each map, and this is almost about like what 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how much Halo 3 I played, bro. Like I was like that invested in it, bro. Like it wasn't like, yeah, dude.
Yeah. We so we end up like loading into it or whatever, and I'm like talking down the line. I'm like, listen, boys, like whatever's gonna happen in this match is like gonna happen, but we just have to like roll with it or whatever. So just like if I'm saying we should defend a little bit. On all these like symmetrical maps, I tend to call it like how the midship callouts are. So if you guys like don't remember exactly how stuff is on onslaught, just like remember where that area is of the map on midship, and we're just gonna kind of see what happens. And yeah, I don't really know what happened. I guess like all of my rage from going out last in doubles finally hit me or something like that. But yeah, that was a fun map. I'm glad that I did it on
Redemption
land
arc.
instead of online. Yeah.
Dude,
How much screaming
was-
did you do?
Bro, it watched when like it wasn't no, he didn't scream that much into I think we were just getting to like the feels of like how each other's game style was before I think it was the first flag cap. And then that's when he started going off a
Yeah.
little bit. And that was psychologically fucking
Yeah.
up like the other team so bad,
Yeah.
bro, because
Well, no, because we were playing like at parallel for like the first little bit, and I'm like I don't when I'm playing, like I'm not thinking about like KD. I don't like look at the scoreboard too much or anything. I'm just like
Yeah.
focused. I was just like calling out.
Yeah,
just
like,
talking to you
you're-
guys like how this is how we're talking
you're
right
playing
now. Yeah.
Halo.
Yeah.
You weren't like
and then as
statting,
yeah.
you weren't
And then
Those-
I actually like we almost pulled the flag first time. We almost pulled the flag the second time. It's not working. They get our flag. We stop it. I get the flag from their base, and I walk it. So it would be like the bottom B side, red side, or like where P would be on midship. I managed to actually like just run it the whole way. I dodge one of their players and go to capture it. And at this point, I'm like, all right, well, if we're playing and it's a LAN, like I might as well, like hype the team up a little bit. I stand on the podium with the flag in my hands before I capture it. And I just stand up and I go, hey guys, just so you know, you're supposed to stop the flag, right? And I put the first flag in or whatever, and I sit down. And from there, I was like, okay, like we got to win this game now. Like now we have to make a
yeah,
statement.
like you started trash talking, bro.
Yeah.
You want to make
And
me
then,
something?
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You want to embarrass yourself?
Now we got to win this game.
You talk shit, and also you
Yeah.
just get like swept. That'd be
It's
so
the worst
funny.
feeling.
Yeah. Well, no, because
We were like overwhelming them. Like as soon as I remembered, like as soon as I remembered the spawns, everything just started clicking. Like it was like
yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it, dude. Everything just started clicking. Like if it was like a kid riding a basketball or dribbling a ball or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm like, oh my god, they're spawning red side or red B side. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
it was just shit that like out of habit of doing it for so much, like it was just coming to me naturally.
Yeah, no, you start remembering where like that spawn is on like the dumpster side where it's like right before the
Yeah.
walk up to the flag. Yeah. Onslaught has kind of all those Forge maps have spawns that you can kind of like feel after you've
Yeah.
played them a little bit. So yeah. But no, that ended up being a super fun map. That's probably like one of the better maps of Halo that I've played. Obviously, it's just like mixed team versus mixed team, but I think I got that one done. I think it was like 47-22 or something at the end of that map, with a couple flag captures on top, and yeah, everyone played super well. I remember when we finished the match, I think it was you or Mythos or something who was like, yeah, R8, it's good we picked you up, man, or like it's good to see that from you, bro, or something. Like
That's funny.
yeah, something like that down the line. And I was like, okay, shit.
Um,
And then we got onto I think it was
Narrows.
Narrows TS. Next one.
Narrows. Was it Narrows?
Yeah, it was Narrows
Narrows.
Team Slayer. It was the second map.
Oh man, Narrows. I almost forgot how to play that map. So it's a lot of L2, R2, like the L1, R1,
Yep.
like the ramps.
Mhm.
It took that as long as we had control of that top mid and almost we kind of want to be semi into their base where Mohawk is.
Mhm.
We had control of that map the entire time, dude. There isn't like not one point where we were sweating like, oh
Yeah.
crap.
Well, we kind of were. I didn't make it easy for you. You went on a long flank, and then I promptly betrayed you with the rocket launcher right at the beginning of the map, if you remember that.
Oh man. Young Mythos was sitting right next to me
Yeah.
and someone goes over to man cannon and I turn to the left and I no scope him. Dude, no scope him like disgusting. I wish I ever had recorded it, bro. And young Mythos just looks at me in mid game and he just like stops like holy fuck.
Yeah.
That was a disgusting shot, bro. And I was even surprised that I even hit it because I didn't even think I could hit it, bro. And I just went for it, and I got a headshot off of it, and we just maintained that momentum, bro. We just kept momentum going, bro.
Right on. Yeah. So no, you were great that match. Like that match was weird for me because I felt sort of like off my game or whatever. Because like we just played that first map on Onslaught where I was like yelling and shit and like just freaking out because it's like BR only, and I'm normally like that's like my bread and butter is like BR. Fuck the power
Bro,
weapons.
BR on
Yeah.
land is like
Yeah.
so,
It feels good.
it's like butter,
and
dude.
and
It's
we
like,
we gave them host for the first match, right? Because it's on a small map, so it's
yeah,
actually
I
kind
didn't
of a
give a shit who had
disadvantage.
those because
Well, we're about to go on narrows, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I just
You
did
better
this.
believe host matters, though. It
Yeah,
does matter.
I do, yeah. So,
okay.
but I'm like, so we just gave them host for first map, right? We're about to go to the second map, which is narrows, and I'm probably gonna be sniping. So where's my host, right? The admin just starts the game, and for the first like 10 seconds of the match, I'm like arguing with the admin, and he says something to me like, "Host doesn't matter.
We're
It's
playing
LAN."
land.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Are you okay? That's not how it works." And I'm like running my sniper route at the same time that I'm like talking to the admin, and I'm like, "Okay, well, fuck it. I guess this is how it's gonna be." But no, that was an easy match for me because the second map, I just had our snipe. I just kind of stood back. I would just shoot people in the body, and then it's just like critical ML killed, young mythos killed, critical ML, and then it just went up from there, right? Like, can I get any damage on somebody? Okay, someone else cleans them up, easy, right? After my rocket
Like, I
launcher
forgot-
experience, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna use that again. So
I forgot like the opening strat, like when I used to have a team for Halo
Yeah.
3. I forgot how that opening strat was like. Then I don't even know how. When it came to the narrows, I forgot about
Yeah.
opening strat for that map, but we did work, so it was like whatever. I didn't even have to
yeah,
like
we
go over anything.
I think we were out of control for like the first couple seconds, and then after
Yeah.
a couple plays, we were back into it. It's no problem. But yeah, that map, I think that they had a good chance of winning Onslaught if you actually look at the scores and stuff. On narrows, there was no chance. Like they were totally defeated after the Onslaught game.
Yeah.
I think.
So what? It was 2-0, and that's
Yeah,
it, right? They
2-0,
were
yeah,
out.
right through.
All right. So what was the next map?
Yeah, so we ended up getting a team that got the bye. So Monstars did not get the bye. Horned Frogs ended up getting the bye, and their placement was kind of boosted because they got the bye. The Old Men of Eclipse team was actually pretty good, like all things considered. Horned Frogs, we just kind of stomped over them. That's the one where it was Construct King for the first map.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we destroyed the. That was the one I think I got a running riot. Was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah,
what is it? 15 kills in a row?
Yeah. Because
It's running riot, right?
in Halo 3, I think that's running riot. It got everything went up.
Yeah, I
one.
think it
People
changes.
think it's in the zone.
It's
Well, for
well
Halo 2.
on Halo 2, yeah, but in Halo 3 it would go Killing Frenzy, right? Because they changed how the
Oh.
medals are in Halo 3, and then it would go, what is
Running
it?
Riot.
Yeah, Killing Frenzy.
Because now
and
in
then I think it
because
ups
now in
from that.
Infinite, it's
Sorry,
like
yeah.
a running.
Killing Spree, Killing Frenzy, Running Riot in Halo 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
In Infinite is different. Like 15 kills is Rampage, I think.
they keep changing the
Oh.
medals. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I
Yeah.
should just keep it the same.
Yeah, they
But when I
really should.
when I had that, I was so stoked, dude. I was like, no way, dude.
But no, the second map was good. Like I think when we talked with LD after Worlds, because I just played on like a random mix at Worlds as well with like LD and some of his friends. Last time we played Construct King, we literally should have like won the map, but for some reason, we just had like a comms breakdown where nobody would stand in sword. So we just kept bottom spawning, and we just slowly lost the game because of that, despite everyone actually playing pretty well. This time I was like, listen, no matter what happens, we are going to hold upper. Like, we're spawning upper this game. Like, I'm not fucking around with this, like, lower spawn shit. If we have the opportunity to, like, stand in sword, we're going to stand in sword, and we're going to control this map. And that worked fine for
That
most
fucking worked.
most of the map. I was like
Phenomenal,
just
dude.
standing back shooting like BR shots down, and then whenever the hill moved, like I would throw someone else there and I would go and pick up the hill. And
There's a
yeah, it was easy because fucking critical what'd you get, like 35 kills or something? Like you just destroyed everyone on that
Yeah.
map. Yeah.
There was a moment where I'm in closed street and they're spawning gold ramp right below me.
Mhm.
And you know how in closed street there's that little opening that you could see towards the bottom to that gold ramp?
Yep. Yeah.
Like, and I think you were on the open street or maybe sword ramp. I don't know where. And you guys were just putting work, and I'm just putting little shots on them, and I didn't want to drop down and lose my position because if
Yeah.
I would have done that, it would have messed up the spawns for up top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, oh man, for me, I could have done it. I would have got an easy double or triple, but had I done that, I would have
Yeah.
ruined that spawn positioning, and we just locked it down, dude. And
Yeah,
that was
that
fun.
game I was
That was
not
so fun.
clowning around until I was like sniping right at the end when I knew we already like had the game, when I started like freaking out. But like for the first probably like 2 minutes, I was like shouting at everyone like some captain in like the military, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna stand here, okay? I'm going for hill. Like I was pointing at people like, Mythos, you get in sword right now. Like if you do not get in sword, we are going to have a problem.
Bro, and I had completely forgot.
Yeah.
I had completely forgot that on our side of spawn, we spawn on top of overshield. There's the
So, yeah,
overshield
yeah.
ramp.
Yeah.
Do you remember where we spawned? Like off rip on the map?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay, so when in the middle of the game we spawned at one point. They had top control at one point, and we all spawned bottom.
Yep.
And I run into the overshield, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot there's overshield on this
Yeah.
map, bro.
No, I thought you meant overshield was spawning upper when we were spawning upper. That's what my facial
Oh, no,
expression
no.
is. Yeah. No, because that's like the strat if you end up with a weird situation on construct, is that you try to use the OS to break the top setup. But that never really
Right,
happened
so-
because we were just controlling the weapon
Yeah,
spawns
we
and stuff,
were-
so we could just get
Yeah.
top control back.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, so that's what compensates if teams that like really good teams.
Yeah.
They would use overshield and sniper.
Yeah.
And top team would just have top positioning and rockets.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's
and
pretty
back
much
then
what
you have 4 fucking rockets, and 4 rockets you could do a lot of shit
Yeah.
with 4 rockets, man.
Well, that's pretty much like what I was trying to explain, like during the match or whatever. It's like, listen, like we're not a real team. Like we're not playing against a real team. Top control's just better than whatever else, right? Like
Yeah.
because we're just gonna maul them, right? And that ended up happening. We had rocket control the whole time. We got because we had control of sword, we would just consistently be able to pick up the snipe, which spawns in like the bottom hill position, right? And yeah, it just ended up being a pretty fun match. I got a really sick no scope that map where I no scoped somebody from like the first hill, like the snipe hill, to where like the bridge is in front of gold, like the gold bridge before you go up the gold ramp. And it was like one of the craziest shots ever. It was for a triple. And guess what? Theater's not installed on the Xboxes at HCS events. So I
yeah.
couldn't go back and get it. I've got a video of me trying to load the demo and it won't load. So
Why we need people behind our players, like with cameras.
yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. Like it's difficult to get footage of the events unless we have other people there,
Like a camera dude,
who
yeah.
like know how to run the cameras and stuff. Like, so shout outs again to Brendan, obviously, for helping us out at Worlds. That you really helped us a lot. In a worst case scenario though, like I could have recorded, but you have to really be.
He was absolutely a lifesaver, by the way.
Yeah.
It was so good to have him because you could actually focus on coaching
Yeah.
without having to do both at a time.
Yeah, but like, I'm not gonna. First of all, it would be difficult for me to just be like, hey guys, listen, I know you just picked me up last minute. I'm gonna record all their games. No pressure, kids. But
Right.
the other thing too is like you aren't allowed to have tripods. You aren't allowed to have external microphones. You're not allowed to have a bunch
Yeah,
of
'cause it's
shit.
got to go through the metal detector.
Yeah. So you have to have somebody who can actually hold it in their hand. I guess I could have probably maybe got Skater to do it, but I don't know. Like I just met these people, right? So they're just gonna walk away with my camcorder or something and pawn it.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're focused.
Yeah.
You're not gonna even notice.
And I'm like focused
yeah,
on the game,
it's-
and I'm also trying not to get fucking last again, right? So it was just a.
I
bad
think in that
situation.
situation you would have to have them in. That's a tough. one.
At Worlds, like Goat's friend Brendan
And,
showed up.
I can't
and
wait,
He was great. So
I can't wait to get to the point where I tell you guys my reactions to everything.
Yeah.
I think you'll like my reactions to all the news that Reaching was telling me.
But yeah. So anyway, we played. Yeah, it was our second set against Horned Frogs. We got through Construct. That was pretty easy. I don't really remember much from the Amplified game because I think we just kind of walked over them. It was Amplified Slayer for our second map. Like, I think Critical got like 20 kills again. I just kind of walked around.
Oh,
like,
that was the Amplified? Okay,
Yeah.
so that map, I had fun in that map. That map,
That's the map
everyone,
you cook in.
Yeah.
That's the map you cook in.
that map, everyone was laughing because of the way I was just calling out. And
Yeah.
then I took a moment just to look to the side to see like the other team and their face, and they were all laughing. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like at least they are losing, and I'm
Yeah.
I don't want to say I was talking shit because there wasn't really talking shit. It was just me calling out. But the way I was calling out, it was
Yeah.
like no mercy.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Yeah.
I know
Put
who
you
you
guys out
are.
in the bag.
There's
Yeah.
no hiding.
Yeah.
There's no hiding. They're a red base. You can't hide. And in that moment, like everyone just started busting out laughing, dude. And then
That's
I
when you know
got
you're
up.
the
Like
red
we
bag.
finished the map. We finished that one pretty quick,
Yeah.
and I was close to an overkill on that map.
Yeah.
And when we finished, I got up real fast, and I'm like, you guys. I expect you guys to talk shit to me if you guys are whooping my ass, but at least make it fun. Like I'm not like, and we're all at least like I'm here to make it fun for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the great thing. Like everyone here is just laughing about it, and I'm not here. No one here is like being disrespectful about it towards anyone, and that was the cool
Like
thing about
lighthearted,
it.
friendly trolling.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
you
it-
have fun with it. Everybody's adrenaline up.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, and,
Yeah.
Fun.
it was just so funny, dude.
Oh, hell
That
yeah.
shit was
Absolutely.
that was like the highlight of for me and or the tourney was that little moment
Amplified
there because
TS,
it was
yeah.
just
No, I remember one
It was
point you
hilarious.
were. I think there was like 3 of us like under their base, and their whole team somehow was also like under there, and everyone's like wandering through like the maze under the base, right? And people are getting like back smacks and like 2-shot beatdowns and shit, and I can just hear you going like, "You can't hide, no
Everything is
mercy," and shit like the entire time. Yeah, you got like a triple.
and
Yeah.
the only reason why I started doing that was honestly because when you started screaming it, so it was like giving me that energy.
Yeah.
That I was like, you know what, fuck it, dude, I'm
Yeah.
gonna start doing it too.
No, I was.
And that was really getting into the like, cause you did it in the first team we went against. I did it against the second team we went against.
Yeah.
And in that moment, we just fucking we did what we did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we ended up. So the bracket was fair to us. If anything, kind of too fair to us for the first 2 sets. But then we kind of came back to earth. The other side of the bracket, I think it would have been really fun if we got to play against Cutting Edge Esports. That's like the team that had like Takedown and Century and stuff on it, who are like really
I
loud
want to
too.
go against them, dude. I felt like
And
we had a chance to go against them.
That would have been really fun if it was Monstars versus Cutting Edge, but it just wasn't to be. They ended up playing as Misfits and just blowing them out of the water 2-0 for their 3rd place game. But we ended up playing against Long Live Halo 3, which was Posey, Invincible. I'll have to check their roster.
Did you say
yeah.
Ryan Noob?
No. It was Posey, Invincible, Haynes, and Bob TDG.
Haynes? Which Haynes?
Haynes.
Are we talking about? Is it
Haynes like
Haynes like Halo 3 Pro?
It was. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
That was it. That was
yeah,
him.
Yeah, he's the guy with like he's got like longer hair and stuff. You saw
No
me talking to
fucking
him
way,
after
that
the
was
match.
him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh shit,
That's
bro,
why
I didn't
before
fucking know that, dude.
and then they were talking with a gentleman was like behind them talking before the match, and I actually that's why I walked over to them and I was like, "Oh yeah, like are you coaching for them or whatever?" He's like, "No, I'm like friends with like Posey or something." And I looked down the line. I still really don't recognize Invincible in person. But I know what Haynes looks like in person. That's why I came back to you guys and I'm like, okay, listen. this is gonna be this is
You
gonna be a
did
fucking
say that,
game.
like,
Yeah.
you were like, guys.
Yeah.
It's like you saw like something you should have seen,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
and he
like,
comes back to us with like the 411.
yeah,
Like, you guys, this is not good.
yeah. I'm like, guys, we played like 2 mixes. Those were pretty like those are games we can manage, right? I'm happy that we've gotten this far. We're about to play.
You were like congratulating. I'm like here,
Yeah.
like what's going on?
Yeah, we're about to play
And then-
like really good players. Here's like the game situation, and I even said something like I just totally cursed us too. I'm gonna take this entirely on me. Like before that match, I even was like, listen, if we can get some kind of like good OBJ for us, like it's CTF on Onslaught or something again, like we can make something work, okay? Because I know you guys can shoot. It's gonna be a kind of disorganized map. You know,
You're like pre-mentally checking.
yeah,
people.
we're gonna make it
Like,
work.
and I'm here,
Yeah.
and people are like,
Yeah.
people, and you know what's so crazy? We had like a little bathroom break, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to the bathroom real quick, and in that moment, there like someone goes up to me, he's like, "You guys know who you're going against?" I'm like, "Do you know who they're going against?" Like, do you know who I am, dude? I'm MOG top
That's right. You
10,
tell him I'm
baby.
him.
Like,
I'm him.
I'm MOG top 10. I'm on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, so go check me out. And then,
Like, point check,
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
and then I just continue to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then someone says, "Did he really just say that?" And then now coming to find out that
Yeah.
we went against Haynes, I'm like, okay, now it makes sense,
Yeah.
dude.
But no, like I
That was
realized
funny.
who we were playing because their team was fucking like Long Live Halo 3 and shit, and I was like, oh fuck, this is like the team that wins all the majors and shit. They basically just show up to like collect free money, and I'm like explaining to everyone, I was like, listen, we had a good run so far. Like we might be able to get a map if we get a good pull here and something, you know, we get
Yeah.
struck by, you know, someone gets struck by lightning outside while they're smoking, and we get like a 3v4. Like here's how we're gonna do it. We try to hope for a good map. First map, Guardian Oddball. I'm like, all right, this fucking
Oh,
series
oh.
is over.
And this
Like,
is the map, bro. This is the map
yeah,
when I told you guys we went to the corner and we started talking about strats.
yeah.
This is the map I stayed talking about for a good minute, bro.
Did they do the green
Yeah.
overshield?
Yeah, yeah,
strategy?
yeah.
Yeah.
They
They lock down
they
the
lock
map,
down
force spawn
S
you gold.
tower
Yeah.
and they lock down fucking tree. And it's like when you're playing with like a legit team that like practiced a lot or has played like tons and tons of Halo 3 together, it's like, okay, we can actually break this because they would put a guy up S3 and you can actually kill him if you do like the S3 nade, and you get someone to actually look out from glass and shoot him, and there's things you can do in order to get through that setup. But
Yeah.
they just like the
I was
ball
trying to do it.
yeah, the ball went into it's a tree and it basically just didn't leave, like because we're
Ever.
playing against fucking Invincible and Haynes. You know what I mean? Like we just got fucking completely rolled.
Like they locked us down at Snipe Tower. Exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
If you keep basically 2 at Snipe Tower, 1
Yeah.
on elbow, and 1 at tree,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. No, that was where like the wheels totally fell off. That's where, you know, having a mix is kind of a problem. And then the second map, we ended up pulling Heretic for Team Slayer, and like their team
that
shot
one
was
was-
just on. Like we did better in that map than we did on
Yeah.
on Guardian. Like I think we got, I don't know.
We didn't get staked. Did we get staked? I don't know.
It was close, but it was certainly a closer map. I'll tell you what, it was certainly a closer map. But yeah, no, their team shot was just super on. Like they came to collect $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were just ready to go totally.
They what is that? What is that? 250 each?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just came to pick it up. They got their event passes paid for. Yeah,
Huh?
we didn't have a hope for that match. That's why at the end of the game, I like stood up and I just like looked over at Haynes and I was just like, we are not worthy and shit. And good games, you know, good luck in the
Damn, I
grand
didn't
finals.
even know that. Had
Yeah.
I known that, bro, I would have taken a picture with him, bro.
Yeah,
Damn, that sucks.
Yep.
Did you ever get like his Discord or anything like that? Like his information? Or like to trade? I don't know.
No, I was talking with them a little bit. Like these are people I've talked to at events and stuff before. So
Yeah.
like I could I guess get in touch with them. They kind of do this routinely though.
Yeah,
So-
Invincible is basically
yeah.
at every single tournament, and it's basically won every single tournament that they've done side tournament wise for 4v4 in 2023, outside of one event, and now going into 2024, he's won every single side
Yeah,
tournament so far.
in
Like,
24,
Invincible
he
is
did like
like,
almost all the majors, maybe all of
one
them
thing
in
I-
Worlds.
because I was gonna team with him at some point, and I'll kind of tell you how Invincible is. I'm friends with him. He kind of, I mean, he has connections. He's really good at connecting.
Yeah,
And what he'll do is he'll show up to an event with not really having anything kind of pre-planned, but because he's already an established name in the scene, he just pretty much just talks to the best players and forms like God squads on the spot basically every time he shows up.
yeah. Yeah, so no, he did a great job getting on that team. I have a feeling that they kind of expected to run into each other. Like they were just super good, but I mean, like these guys all do this like routinely, right? Like we're just kind of seeing what happens at a LAN. Like they're there to pick it up. But so that's where we ended up. We got out like 3rd to 4th semifinals. Pretty good for like a random mixed team that was put together while the team was in line. On the other side of the bracket though, there ended up being the match between Misfits and CE Esports. So I walked over there. It's like the cutting edge dudes. And I'm talking to Takedown, and I'm like, hey, what's your series at? And he goes, 1-0. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, do you mind if I film? And he goes, yeah, you're taking footage, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be filming. And he goes, that's awesome. Can you record this pop-off when I win? And I'm like, okay. And we record their next map, which I think was like Heretic Team Slayer. And they get through it no problem versus Misfits. Like C just clears through them. And then in the and as expected, Takedown's like jumping around and shit, and they easily get through that. And then in the grand finals, like exactly what you'd expect to happen totally happens, right? Like Long Live Halo 3 just gets in control on each map, and they ended it with like a quick 3-0. So like they had like I think it was like Construct King was like their last map or something, and they were like briefly out of control for about 30 seconds. They got top control again, and there was just no energy. Yeah, they just totally like choked it out. Like that was the team to. Everyone else was just fighting for second place. Like that was the team that was gonna win that event. It was nuts. So.
So crazy. Had I not known, my confidence level would have still been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you were saying that, and I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
Well, the way it works is you know that you're playing somebody's really good, so it's like a drive. It motivates you because you know they're really good, and it gives you something that you can look forward to. Like, I want to beat the player that's really good, so I can be the next guy that's really good. You know, I can be seen as really good.
Yeah. It would have been.
So, yeah,
I just didn't even know. I didn't know.
If you have a positive mental, you can get past the mental check that a lot of people like sometimes fall to. They'll see they're playing somebody really good, and they just collapse right off the beginning of the match. So it's always good to have a positive mental when you go into a match.
Yeah. So, no, like I thought it would be possible for us to like, I don't know, take some time, like some level of score, or like make them sweat for it a little bit. We got not the first map for that against.
Now,
against.
I will say, Reaching.
Long Live.
When you told me you got 3rd in the 4v4, because I remember you messaged me, I was like talking back and forth. I was really excited.
Yeah.
When you said that, bro, I was like shocked. I was like happy. I was like cheering. I'm like, no way. No way did my coach just go over here by himself and get top 3 in this tournament. I was like, that's sick. Yeah, we were all cheering for you, dude.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. 2 coaches colliding to get their place.
The 2 coaches are the best players on the team, bro. I think we should
So,
stop coaching. Just
so
kidding.
it comes to a point where it's like we got knowledge of the game. You know what I'm saying? It didn't even come to the point like since they're already pointing you out saying, oh, you're pretty good, and you're like, oh yeah, he's good at Halo 3. And I would ask everyone, hey, are you good at Halo 3? And I'm like, nah, the Halo 3 is not my thing. I'm like, fuck, right? I'm not picking you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, Young Mythos did work. You can't say he didn't do work because he was doing work too. Everyone was doing work. I think maybe our weakest link was Smoke.
Yeah.
But he it's not like he didn't know what he was doing.
It's really difficult to call weapon timings and stuff when I'm literally like standing up and like shouting, And to be fair,
Yeah,
on like the second game or like our second series when it was like Construct, which is like a very coach map or whatever, there were times where I just had my hands off the controller, like pointing at monitors and stuff. I don't think I ever shut
Yeah,
up
I
on
was
that
doing
map.
that shit too.
This is like
That's a great thing
I need
about
you
LAN,
here
dude.
on the map and stuff, which normally
Yeah.
would be like the coach thing. Like I suppose that's because I was like, fuck, I'll just.
So
like,
that's
coach
good
and
that
play
like
at
we
once.
basically were sitting up like on
Opposite
opposite
sides,
ends.
yeah.
You were coaching your player. Didn't want to say I was coaching my player, but I would feed off his screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then based off that, I'd be like, all right, that player's out of the play. That you take him, you pick him up, and I'm gonna keep going my route.
Yeah, but no, I think Stoney could be really good at coaching. Like he's actually got a lot of like knowledge of Halo 3 from like back in MLG and stuff. But
Yeah.
he'll need a, I might show him a few things. I don't know how many other like American events I'm gonna be able to make this year. So I think that guy actually lives in Texas, so he might end up at like DreamHack or something. So we might, I might give him a little like crash course or whatever. Like before this event, because I knew I was going alone, I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna play. Like just to prepare for the event, like I'm just gonna practice as much as I can, like basically just FFAs, because I know how to play Halo 3, but when I played at Worlds, I was playing in a way that was like a little bit like too selfish and not good enough aim, right? But for this event, I need to be able to fit on any team, so I should just aim really well and then play really safe. So I just practiced like as many playing FFA and challing everything, and then just like a little bit of matchmaking and stuff going into it. I didn't bother talking to anyone on the Discord or whatever because I knew I was like going in alone. So yeah, I think that helped me do a little bit better here. But
So you went literally by yourself.
yeah. I thought I was
That's
gonna run
crazy.
into some other people that I knew, and I kind of did, but none of them wanted
Like
to
we said at the
play.
beginning, like we all planned to like
Yeah.
all be together, but like he ended up being the only one who went just solo.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we were supposed to have 5-6 deep, right?
Yeah, well, there were multiple people that like said like, oh, like I have tickets. So I was like, okay, I'll probably run into someone who I know. And weirdly enough, I ran into people that I knew, right? Like I keep saying, like I ran into like Takedown and Century. I ran into Easy Money. I ran into Gentlemen who I like kind of sort of peripherally know. But either these people like weren't playing in the tournaments or like we didn't expect to see each other at the event, So it wasn't like, planned or anything. I thought I might run into a few other people that live in like the Texas area. They either didn't know or didn't talk to me at the event, or like they didn't go or didn't talk to me. So yeah, I was pretty much on my own. But I thought that it would be cool to just show up and play anyway, just because I was in Texas. Why not, right? Like if I can't, especially because I couldn't really move the flights too much. Why not, right? It ended up being super fun, and I met a bunch of cool guys. So.
If you don't mind me like us asking, how much was the flight ticket, or was it a hassle to like get through TSA?
Oh yeah,
or...
so it wasn't super expensive because I booked the tickets early, so it was like $700
Right.
Canadian or something. Like it wasn't expensive, but the thing is that the way
$100 Canadian.
yeah, so like I
So
don't
what
know,
is that in US?
500 or something US. So not a whole lot, but more than a little, right? So
And where did you stay?
sorry,
Where'd you stay?
I said that I stayed at the hotel. We already talked about that right at the beginning, right? Sonesta Suites or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, you did. My bad.
And,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't
you
that
did.
also wasn't very expensive. Like it was way less than
Okay.
$500 for the hotel. I barely spent any money when I was there. So it wasn't expensive, but the thing is that when you book like a flight to the US on an American airline but through like a Canadian portal, often it's like difficult to cancel. So I could have actually moved the flights, but by the time that I was thinking about moving the flights, it was like, oh, I can go maybe visit like LD or something, right? Because we have a friend that does a lot of like classic Halo lands. Actually getting flights out to California, because I would have to pay like the ticket differential, would have been so expensive that it was like double the cost, even if I could have like stayed at his place or something. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go to, I've always wanted to go to Arlington. I'm just going to go to the event. Why not, right? I'll somehow like make a vacation of this. So yeah, just because of price. And I couldn't cancel for refund. That's the thing, right? So I would have had to move it for travel credit to another event that I couldn't go to without paying 3 times the price, even if I got the travel
Speaking
credit.
about that, I gotta use it. Like that's my thing. Like I have travel credit or a voucher because of the crap they put me through on Spirit.
Okay.
Um, my flight was delayed. I
Hmm.
didn't get I didn't get over there to Arlington until like on Friday until like 3, not Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. Like 3 a.m. or something like
Oh
that. You know
shit.
what I
Okay.
mean? I woke up and that's why I told you in the beginning, like from Friday to Saturday it was a blur to me
Yeah. Yeah.
because I had like no rest.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I said only positive things about Air Canada recently, but our Air Canada is not great. That's like our national kind of carrier, but
Right.
the U.S. airlines are not wonderful. Like the flights that I got sucked pretty much. Like the plane was broken in one of them, and the plane was super dirty in the other on my way down. And it was pretty much the same thing on the way back. So I'm not thrilled about that. Whereas the Air Canada flights that I got to go to Seattle were amazing, right? Like I'm sure everyone's seen the footage of them where I had like nice weather and the plane looks good and stuff like that. It was not like that getting down to Arlington. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Halo 3 event, unless there's anything else that anyone wants to interject, especially from like, yeah, Rep, was there anything else that you noticed? Because you're even more connected with like, the Halo 3 stuff than I am. So is there anything else?
Notice in terms of like tournament or
Yeah, just any other comments?
Oh no, I mean, pretty much you covered everything. I just thought it was like I said. I like Goat's I like Goat's mentality. Is you can't go in life with any expectations. You just gotta sometimes wing it, and sometimes when you wing it, some really really sick stuff happens. So like I said, I'm really proud of all you guys getting top 3 at a HCS side event is nothing to scoff at. So you guys should definitely give yourselves like some pats on the back.
Yeah, so that was basically it for like the side events for me. I think that they continued with a few other things. Like I think that there was a Halo Infinite like doubles. Like, did you play anything else critical?
Uh, I don't think there was anything else after the Halo 3 tourney.
Okay. Yeah, because
Right?
I was
there?
gonna say there was one other thing that happened.
What was it?
So you remember at the beginning of this where I talked about Skater, right? Who I was like, this kid's actually not bad, but he's never played Halo 3, so he kind of was an anchor for me there. Guess what? He got 6th in the 1v1s.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So he's got hands
You
on
did mention
Infinite.
that.
Yeah, so he actually managed to place in the money in the 1v1s, which is kind of crazy.
That's cool, dude. That's really cool.
So yeah, whatever.
Oh
whatever.
man, speaking about that,
he's probably one of those players, and this is not an insult. This is just how it is for a lot of the younger guys. They start off in like newer modern Halo.
Yeah.
And they don't really play a lot of older Halo, so they're just not used to it.
Yeah.
He probably is really nasty at Infinite and just like hasn't dabbled much in classic Halo. So
yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. So on the Sunday, if you didn't play anything else, that was like the final day. So I think that's like the top 4 matches, and then obviously into like the grand finals. But during the top 4, when we went back to the stadium on Sunday, I was like sitting with like Skater and Sony Hypes. We played for a couple hours. I thought that they were going to show me some shit on Infinite, but instead it ended up me just like sitting with Skater, just showing him stuff on Halo 3, because he was like, shit, like this game is actually fire. You know what I mean? Like, can you show me like this trait? Like, how did you move like that on Onslaught? Like, what's like the trick for using like the BR or something like that? And the dude has like crazy accurate grenades. I'm not joking. It's like magnetic, right? He's like one of those people. I have another friend who was more of like a Reach kid. And even when he plays like Halo 2 and Halo 3, this dude has like magnetic grenades. Like he doesn't have the best like BR or like map knowledge or anything, but he somehow manages to hit anyone with a grenade. I kind of was having the same thing playing against Skater, where it's like, okay, like you're not going to win any of these like BR fights, but somehow if you can press the left trigger, now I have like no shields, you know? So he was pretty good for that kind of stuff, and I was showing him some like timing tricks and things. So if anyone randomly bumps into him at another one of these HCS sides or like a classic Halo 3 LAN or something, like what we have coming up in about a month, he might actually be like a real threat if he sticks at it. So when I said that he wasn't great or whatever, that could be a temporary thing. You know, he might end up actually being a pretty sick player, and I'm not just saying that to be nice. So yeah, big congrats to him for actually managing to place in the money at his first major at a side, and hopefully he sticks at it. But yeah, on like the final day, everything just sort of went to plan. The grand finals was ridiculously exciting. Did you see that one, Critical? Like the Infinite Grand Finals?
I actually did not stay.
Oh, okay.
I went to another LAN
Yep.
gaming center because my team just wanted to. They just wanted to keep playing,
Playing,
bro.
yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's just go. I guess let's go keep playing. And me personally, I would have loved to have stayed and watched the grand finals. Because I mean, I ultimately flew from Miami all the way
Yeah.
to Dallas to Texas to watch to go to that event. But when these guys said, "Hey, let's go to another LAN like center to keep playing," I was like, "All right, fuck it, let's do it." Because there was like about a good, I want to say like a good 15 of us, that wanted to just keep playing, and we all just decided to go. So we all linked up, and we linked up at that place, and we played until the place closed.
Nice.
So it wasn't like, and the great thing about it, they were playing the tournament on a big like flat screen
Okay.
there at the center. So it wasn't like we really didn't miss anything. We were still playing, and we were
Then you
playing
just
on
look
like
over
some
and see
really,
that. Yeah.
yeah, we would just look over and be like, "Oh shit, dope." And everyone like at one point like some people just weren't playing and they were just like hovering over the TV. And then like we did eventually end up taking like a little break just to watch certain games. So it was fun. Like it was good that I did make that decision in saying, you know what, fuck it, let's go and continue playing,
Yeah.
because everyone at the event, they just sat there. Sure, it was, you get that live experience, which is a little different, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still had fun either way, you know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying?
Cool. Which LAN center did you end up going to, if you can remember?
Man,
It was
I,
one
I
of the ones
don't.
in Fort Worth or something, or Arlington area, or
It was like 30 minute. It was like a good 30-minute drive though. I
okay.
do remember that. And
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like
So
getting a
pretty far
little
away.
car sick in the back. I was like, fuck, I want this shit to get over with.
Right on. Right on. Cool. Yeah. So I ended up being in the audience for the grand finals, and that was such an exciting grand finals. So the first
Yeah.
set, because it was Optic was coming in from the lower bracket, like I talked about earlier, because they had some surprising like upset losses. So they were in the losers bracket, and they managed to like just squeak by Nemesis the previous day, and then they're playing Space Station, which is like the team where Lucid, who got dropped by Optic, is now playing for Space Station, and they managed to get through that. And the game against FaZe Clan was like pretty good, but the grand finals versus Shopify Rebellion was just like ridiculous, because during the first series, to get Shopify Rebellion into the losers bracket, because you have to win 2 series because it's double elimination, Optic manages to 4-0 them in the best of 7. They just win all their maps, and it's like, holy shit, is Optic gonna go 8-0 for the grand finals? And no, because as soon as they get that bracket reset, Shopify Rebellion answers back for the first map of like when both teams are elimination on Fortress, which is like the assault map that they have now. It's almost like midship. It's like a symmetrical map, but they play assault on it. So think of like a midship assault from Halo 2, MLG Assault. And man, that was a super exciting match. And if I remember correctly, Royal 2 was just like going crazy and stuff. And they just traded maps back and forth until the final Slayer, which was like a 5-kill game. And Optic managed to like just barely squeak it out, like 3-4 in the second best of 7. And the stadium like exploded at that point. Yeah, I know we always give like Infinite a lot of stick, and I think rightly so. But there is really, you know, an audience for it, at least at these LAN events. The whole place was like packed, right? Like every seat was full, you know? They're, you know, these people winning hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not as dead as maybe some people think.
It
People
just
were into
shows
it.
that there's still a lot of love for Halo.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it shows too that the people that are like people love these side events.
Yeah.
These side events people really, really enjoy. For me, I wish they had more Halo 2, obviously, but
Yeah.
I'm still glad that they support, you know, classic Halo either way.
Well, yeah, I think that part of what makes the new Halo exciting is like the classic Halo though, because like I was saying, at least, you know, the reason that I was so invested is because there are these like legacy players that were involved in, you know, Halo 2, Halo 3, even like Halo Reach and stuff, where it's like, hey, wait a minute, I recognize that team. Now or that player. Now he's coaching for what team now? Like now I'm kind of getting invested into this like soap opera aspect of the sport, as you would. And it makes it so exciting.
Right. It's cool that, you know, with all these side events, you get the best of everything. You get to experience the best of everything. There's a little bit of something there for everybody. It's just,
For sure.
I had made a video I posted on Instagram. I'll post it on
Yeah, if you post
on,
it, if you send it to
the
me or something,
Discord.
I'll make sure that our guys see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had taken right before leaving the event. I had left my jacket at one of the stations. I'm going back, and everyone's ready, like waiting in the front for me. I went back, and good thing I went back because when I went back, I grabbed my jacket. I'm going like exiting back out. I run into Elamite Warrior,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Oh shit, what's up, dude? I haven't seen you since 2010, bro. That's the last time I really seen you,
Mhm.
and like in person." And you know, I just started talking to him, and I'm like, you know, what's the difference between like, you pros versus the pros now? Is like you guys didn't gatekeep as much as the pros that are out now. And I started explaining to him, I'm like, do you guys remember when you guys used to do like the MOG, like VOD, like pretty much like strategic plays on how
Subscription
to
services,
run
yeah.
like how to run different maps and all this and I'm like I started explaining that MOG.com you could like they would have that. There's not no HCS World Championship VOD, like there's no, you don't see any of these pros doing like educational videos on how to play an arena style games, like gameplay, you know what I
Yeah, yeah,
mean? You don't see any of that. And I started explaining that. I'm like, bro, Halo 3 back. My bad. Is the camera
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
blurry? Oh, whatever. We'll fix it. Oh,
It's trying to
yeah.
refocus. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. The At one point, I even told him like Halo 3 back in the day was like almost Halo 3 and Halo 2 were like almost the glory days, and he just rolled his eye back. He didn't want to say yeah because I'm assuming like the owner was right in there. He goes, yeah, like he just wanted to say hell yeah it was.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know, man.
it's
He's
true
won a
though.
couple majors since the last time that you heard of him, right? Like he's been coaching for Space Station Gaming for a bit. They were a dominant team last year, so maybe he likes his coaching gig more. Doesn't have to move his thumbs so much. Picks up
Yeah,
some prize money.
and I even told him like the coaching aspect of it is like it's fun, but and it's like it's fun because you feel like you're in the game, but you don't have that pressure of if you fuck up or like you miss a gunfight, it's on you type
Right.
shit. Um, but you still get that energy when you're a coach, which is still fun about being a coach.
Yeah, no, he. I think that there's still a lot of, um, just on the point about coaching. I think that in Halo, there's still a lot of development that can be done with coaching because the coach is able to speak for the whole game. And I think that especially if the next Halo ends up being, like you were saying, gatekeeping, I think that's kind of a function of these teams being partnered as opposed to just like how placement is or like they're working with MLG. Um, because the teams sort of have bought slots, if that makes sense, and they're always going to be able to field the roster at these events, there's kind of like less of a reason to open up the environment. But if the next Halo ends up being super competitive, and as a result of that, like more open, or there's more like mobility between players on pro teams and players that are kind of like one division below, I think that you could actually see like a big development in coaching, because unlike a lot of other FPS games, in Halo the coach is able to speak the entire time, right? So the more stuff that you can offload from the players in the game and onto the coach, the better it is. And I think that Elamite and Lunchbox and stuff, and some of the other like legacy players that are still keeping it going, might end up, being the people like leading that revolution, or at least Elamite already is right now. So I hope to see.
Yeah, they're leaving, like they're passing on the torch.
Yeah.
And speaking about that, I was at the Shopify Rebellion, like what was it? That little arcade game that
Yep.
they were doing, and I saw a little kid trying to win a little item, and he couldn't win it. And then I was trying to root for him, and trying to root for him to like win it and all that. So whatever, he didn't end up winning. He gave up. So I try, and I end up winning it. He ends up walking away with his parents, and since I was like, you know what, I'm gonna win this, I'm gonna go give it to him. And then when I said that, I guess like people overheard me and they started adding. I won like the keychain, and I guess people started wanting to put like shit on the keychain because of what I was gonna go do. So once I did that, I went to go find the kid, and I ended up giving him the keychain with the dad. And then later on in the tournament, or throughout the tournament, or in the day, I see that same kid playing with the dad on like a random eights at a station, and
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is awesome, dude. This is like, that's pretty cool. And then, like, you see the wife sitting literally right behind them, just like, and she's just as intrigued as like they are playing the game. And I'm like, bro, that's dope. Like, you don't see that for like in every relationship where like someone else rooting for
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean, like that.
No, that's wholesome.
But
That's how my dad
yeah, it was,
got me
dude.
started on like Quake and Doom and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's sweet.
It was pretty cool, like family, father and son moment there that I
Yeah,
witnessed.
yeah, for real. Anything else happen for you at the event, like on your way home, anything like that?
Um, yeah, actually, I normally don't drink, bro. I'm not a drinker. So
Okay.
we at the airport, the guys they wanted to get a drink together, and man, did it hit me. Like I was acting all cocky, like, oh, I don't feel anything, which I really didn't feel anything. And they're like, oh, wait an hour until you feel it. And I'm like, whatever. So, mind you, I went flying on a budget, so I had just had enough to buy one for myself, and then they ended up buying me another another drink. I ended up getting a Long Island iced tea,
Hmm.
and in that moment, bro, I say, I drink both of them like nothing. I'm like, man, this is nothing. I don't remember this shit hitting me like nothing. And my flight wasn't until like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and
Okay.
this is like 1 o'clock, 1:30.
Oh shit.
So these guys leave at like 2, 3, and then this shit hits me, bro. Shit hits me for like at 3 o'clock, and I couldn't eat a burger because that shit made me feel so nauseous. I was like, bro, what did I fucking do, dude? I'm like, I'm never. This is why I don't drink, man.
Yeah.
And and man, I was just fighting the urge to not throw up. Luckily, I didn't throw up,
Oh,
but
that's
it
good. Yeah,
was
you didn't
just
miss a
that.
flight or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't miss anything, so it was like it was just that nauseous feeling of like, fuck, bro. Like when you have that feeling of wanting to throw up and you start salivating,
Yeah.
Yep.
that feeling popped up for me, and I was like, bro, this is not happening right now. So I just went to the bathroom, started washing my face, just started looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, yep. I'm not throwing up. I'm not throwing up. I'm not drinking no more. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Not no more, bro.
Yeah. Nothing
And
ever
I was
makes
trying to
you.
get something. I was just trying to get something in my system, dude. And I got a burger, and I couldn't even eat the burger, bro. It was like so,
It's the
bro.
worst.
Nothing
So,
motivates you to stop drinking like the effects of drinking, right? So.
so by the time my flight, like I was ready to board, I started to feel better.
Right.
Like it kind of wore off, but still, I was just like that little 2-hour time frame was horrible, bro.
Right.
But other than that, once I got home, I knocked out, bro. I had a rough like day that Sunday, I guess you want to say.
Right on. Yeah, no, my way back to Canada was actually like pretty easy. Um, I think you guys like TSA and stuff is like a little bit harsher now with like the new administration, but I think a lot
Yeah.
of Canadian tourists are really clueless. Um, I saw people getting stopped. I wasn't getting stopped though, because
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, oh, people are getting stopped who are from Canada going to the U.S. or getting stopped by like the TSA or customs or whatever.
Oh way.
Dude, I think that I think Canadian tourists, we think we're so smart, but we're not. We're like, people always think that people from like their country are like them. Some of these people acted really clueless. Like you're walking up to the place where it says like present your passport and you don't have your passport out, just shit like that. Like, oh, take off your belts, or people like don't take off their belt and then get like stopped by the metal detector. A lot of stuff like that was going on my way back, but I had no problems. Yeah, the way back for me was easy. The quality of the flights, notwithstanding, and yeah, we got back to Toronto just fine, and it's just been fucking go 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 for me ever since, trying to get my life back on track because I was blowing off a lot of stuff to practice and maybe find people to play with when I was in Arlington. So, but yeah, so I think that's where both of our Arlington adventure kind of ends. Do you have any events that you think that you're going to be hitting that you're desperately looking for team for or anything critical?
If I could get a team for DreamHack, I'd go.
Okay.
Like I'm always willing to put the effort and work a little bit more to like, come up with the money to go.
Mhm.
I just don't want to go as a coach this time. I actually want to go and like
Play?
play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I wanna. It's a lot of like hustling for money to go. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
It's not an cheap like thing to do.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. So
Oh,
I'll vouch. Like you're a good player, especially if you had like more practice. Going in, I think you could be really good for basically like any team. Especially if it's just like side tournament or like open bracket. You need some extra firepower. Critical's a good player, so hit him up. We'll make sure that if I hear anything, you'll run into. I'll get you in touch with my guys if I've got anyone that's going there. I already have
For sure.
one player who's probably going to end up there, so you might be able to run some like Halo 3 or something if you both end up being in the same place at the
cool,
same time.
cool. Yeah.
You got any shout outs you want to give or
I didn't even think about giving shout outs. Shout outs to the Clutch Academy. I mean, for doing that tournament that I just partaked in, getting third in. That's my second time getting third in. Shout out to my, I guess the teammates that I coached with, Tribal, Strange Rich, Dizzy Donut, Vafa. Vafa, Vafa is funny. Vafa is became one of my favorite players on that
nice.
squad. I always say, you guys ever seen uh, Foster of Imaginary Friends?
Yeah, I've seen that. Like the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, just look up that and then look up. I mean, just look up that and then that little squad of the picture you'll find on Google. That was us at the tournament, dude.
Okay.
But yeah, bro, I had a great time. Arlington was fun. I'm hoping to, do more events this year. I have a lot of trips planned this year, so if not DreamHack, most definitely be doing another tournament sometimes this year. But I mean, if God willing, I'll go to DreamHack if I have a team. But
All right.
no, until then, we'll see.
Yeah, cool. So if you ever see, any of our guys at an event in the future, make sure that you say hi. And thanks so much for coming on, man.
Sure.